In the anime news you need to know about, Solo Leveling crying, Demon Slayer
slaying,
and One Punch Man Season 3. It's finally happening. It's happening. Can you believe it? It's been like 7 years.
One Punch Man is going to be one punching.
That and more in today's anime news.
I honestly can't even express my surprise. Like, what a concept! One Punch Man returns to punching after 7 years. Whoa. I can see the news of the world headline right now. One Punch Man punches
hearts. Fan hearts.
That's what it would be. It'd be a really inflammatory piece.
Welcome to the Undisputed Anime Podcast. We're your host. I'm Zane Reed, aka Zane Taichou, captain when it comes to anime recommendations. And as always, I'm joined by my best of friend. He is an omnipotent reader of manga and manhwa, Mr. Susu Day.
You flatter me, Zane. You flatter me. I've not read that much. I would, in fact, from now on, I would like to be introduced as Hunter Supreme.
So it's funny you should say that, because I was thinking about doing like a Hunter title. I thought about it. I was like, he is the high-ranking Hunter of the Undisputed Anime. Because you've reached high rank now, right?
I'm certainly the highest rank out of our friendship group. But as I'm sure it could easily be put, if I was a streamer, you know what people would be saying? Phenomenally average. So
no, you know your stuff.
I know enough, but I game a lot, but that doesn't mean that I'm amazing. I'm not playing these PvP games and like 360 no-scoping. I'm just going in there and I'm having fun.
But you're a Monster Hunter vet, right? Like, this isn't your first rodeo?
Ain't my first rodeo, no. Very much a seasoned player. I did pick up very briefly on PlayStation 2. Didn't enjoy it on PlayStation 2. You had to control the weapon with like your
analog
R3 stick. Yeah, no, like trying to use the great swords using that, not it, mate. But then I picked it up properly on PSP, Freedom Unite actually, and it's been a beautiful love affair since then.
I'm trying to think, was there a Monster Hunter on the PS3? I don't remember.
No, I think that during the PS2, PS3 era, like I said, Monster Hunter did come out on PlayStation 2, but I don't think it was like well received. They really doubled down on PSP for Monster Hunter, and then 3DS. It jumped over to 3DS. Where it was an exclusive on 3DS.
Killed the Vita.
And there was also the one that came out on the Wii, which was Monster Hunter Tri.
Oh yeah,
and then over onto the next, like there was a couple of other handheld titles, but I think that then the next big title was Monster Hunter World.
Yes,
and its expansion Iceborne. Then it was Rise back on the Switch, and now on all other platforms. And now we're here with Wilds, which is exceptionally fun.
Definitely, possibly my game of the year so far.
And guys, if you want to see a clip of Zane fighting a giant spider, I'm sure he will. He'll put the links to something like that somewhere, because it's very entertaining. I don't revel in his fear of spiders, but some of his facial expressions are meme worthy. Like, I feel like I need to turn them into reaction pictures.
I think, as you said, as we were playing that, it's not often I show my fears. Like, I'm daredeviling everything, like man with no fear. But you stick a spider in front of me, I can catch a spider, but one of that magnitude is just too much for me. It's beyond.
There's no glass cup big enough to put over that thing. No slipper large enough.
No. My years of training, it can't handle an arachnid of that level or magnitude. So yeah, you live and learn. You live and learn your limits. Anyways,
anime podcast.
Anime. There's been so much anime news as well. Like, we have been spoiled. So I have condensed a lot of it down. So if we do miss something, let us know in the comments. Let us know if there is something that you want us to talk about. Of course, you can do so in the comments, not only on YouTube, but you could do it on your favorite podcast platform. And whilst you're at it, hit the star rating, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, because you'll be helping us out in a big, bad way. Because we want to be the #1 anime news podcast. So we can only do that with your support. And you've been helping us along the way. So we appreciate it so far. But let's ramp it up. Let's go to the moon.
To the moon.
Okay, so today we have got, I want to say, like 4 or 5 news items and then some chibi news. I'm going to kick things off with Demon Slayer. Now, we've been highly anticipating a date for the first movie because there won't be a new season. The new season is broken up into, I want to say, 3 movies from memory.
That's what I recall as well.
Yeah, 3 movies. But we have, luckily enough, had the first date for the first movie mentioned. So, Demon Slayer Infinity Castle will be released on September 12th in theaters, including IMAX. That's the US. Here's the global release schedule. So Canada will also get it on the 12th. France will get it on the 17th. Brazil, 11th. India, 12th. The UK, are you ready?
I'm leaning in. If you're not watching, I'm leaning in.
Pausing for dramatic effect. The 12th of September. That's right, we're getting it the same day as the US.
That also means that we're getting it earlier than the US. Technically, we'll be in a position to see it before the US because time zones.
Mexico will be getting it the 11th. The UAE will be getting it the 11th. Japan will be getting it on the 18th of July. So they'll be getting it for all of us, of course.
It's for them. Anime might have a presence all over the world, but at its heart, anime is like a Japanese staple. It's like this is for them. Like, of course they're getting it first.
Hey, what would you expect? Indonesia will be getting it the August the 15th. September the 12th will be in South Africa, and the Philippines will be getting it the August the 20th. How are you feeling about Infinity Castle? Are you kind of okay, or are you kind of like excited, or where are you at with it at the moment?
I'm excited because I think that the anime generally has been just churning out bangers of episodes. Like the animation, even in the most recent series, where I know that there was a lot of talk about it being slower paced and a bit boring compared to other stuff in the Hashira training arc. But honestly, if Demon Slayer has taught me anything, and it's only done this once, is that when you make an arc into a movie and you do it right, it's incredible. And we already got to experience that with Mugen Train, didn't we? Mugen Train was a theatrical release before it was split up into episodes, and it was absolutely incredible to watch. Absolutely incredible. So I have no doubt that the Infinity Castle is gonna be a visual masterpiece. And we've already just watching the end of the last episode of the last season is you already see that quality right there in just the anime.
Yeah.
So imagine what it's gonna be like again. This is gonna be the anime equivalent of Infinity War.
Yeah, I think you're right. A part of me felt like, is this going to be like a Harry Potter sort of cadence? Because I remember Harry Potter being one of the first movies to have a part one and a part two.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, I kind of feel parallels with that. Yeah, I am excited. I'm also excited that some dum-dums won't get this confused for, so which episodes are these?
Yeah.
So it's good that this is going to be just movie. Ufotable will always do phenomenal work when they are doing not only adaptations for movie, but also kind of like you said, everything else, the sound effects, the gravitas, the cinematography. It's going to be fantastic.
And we're
Especially,
all ready. We're ready to go. We've seen Zenitsu lock in. He's locked in.
He's been locked in for like a year.
I know. He's still falling, guys, to this day. To this day, he's still falling.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If anything, I'm really excited to see it in IMAX. I think it'll be really nice in IMAX.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. I've already made this joke because of like for the last couple of good anime movie releases in the UK. It's been very difficult unless you live in like a hub city.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. And like, so when that post came out, I was like, coming soon to a cinema within 100 miles of somewhere nowhere near you.
yeah. All the other smaller cities that have one cinema, good luck, because it'll probably be there for like 2 days, then gone.
My only thoughts around that, and I have given it a little bit of thought, is that maybe the last time Demon Slayer came out is what's caused this, because obviously there was a lot of outcry about it not actually being a movie, it just being episodes, and maybe enough people complained about it and they're like, oh, they didn't really like that. Maybe.
Do you think, like, from a cinema point of view or from the distributor point of view?
Yeah, because it's expensive to go to the cinema these days and stuff like that. So I imagine, while I am a big proponent of like, well, you know, if you had read the description, you would have known that it was going to be episodes. At the same time, it's like, as someone who doesn't like paying to go to the cinema, because it's a lot of money to go to the cinema these days, like I would be mad if I went to the movies and I saw something that I have already seen most of before.
Yeah. No, I can understand that. The only reason I asked that question, and I guess it's kind of like a counter argument, is why is there so much Attack on Titan in cinema?
Well, that's because
why is there so much of it? But I hear what you're saying, and on the flip side as well, the limited screenings that there were for My Hero Academia's movie, I have to admit, the one screening I went to, it wasn't full neither, which surprised me considering how huge My Hero is and its fan base and stuff.
But again, they're not really doing. I don't think that UK cinemas do a good job at publicizing. It's like, if you only know that these things are playing at the movies in the UK if you are in circles that would let you know that is the thing. If you're looking at the anime news, if you're watching the Undisputed Anime Podcast, you know.
Bingo indeed. Ready to move on to news item number 2?
Of course.
We're getting a brand new anime series in April called, it's a completely original title called Moonrise.
Yes. Netflix.
Netflix, starting on April 10th by Wit Studio, who we all know and love from things like Spy Family, Attack on Titan. I can't remember which half of Attack on Titan they did.
Did they do the first half or the
I think they did the first half and then it went to Mappa, from memory.
Who knows?
Which also explains why there's so many parts, because Mappa's gonna Mappa.
That's true. You know, and we've also got like Wit's also responsible for the One Piece shortening, isn't it?
Yes, the remake that's happening. They also did. You just made remind me of something, which was really good. It was Vinland Saga.
Yep, Vinland Saga.
Yeah. So, the reason this is really interesting and quite exciting, there's a new trailer. You also mentioned that it's coming to Netflix, so wide reach. But the cast behind this is really intriguing. So, the anime director also worked on Attack on Titan. The original script writer worked on Psycho-Pass. And the original character designer, Hiro Muya Akakawa, from Fullmetal Alchemist.
Okay.
So we got some heavy swingers. Is that the right word? Swingers? Heavy hitters?
Heavy hitters, yeah.
Yeah. In this. How are you feeling about this so far?
I mean, it looks like it'll possibly be a good watch. Like, I think, I give Netflix a lot of like grief for like stuff, but I do think that when they get it right, they really do get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is like an original, like, I think that that's what I found with Netflix as well, is that they do pretty okay when they're allowed to, they just do their own thing, as opposed to trying to remake something that is already in existence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stuff. So it's like, I know that I don't know where I was going with that, but I do think that when Netflix just doubles down and just focuses on an original product, or like focuses on something that's just not been done before, they do pretty all right. They've got the money to make it a spectacle, and there's more incentive for them to get it right when it's their own thing.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So,
yeah. I feel like Netflix has been cooking in a lot of ways. Like, over the last sort of 5 years, there's been leaps and bounds in terms of the type of anime they, get behind and pay for and stuff. So, of course, I want to say 5 years ago, there was just kind of like the random stuff, like Be the Beginning and like all sorts of weird CGI ones. And like now, I think we've had Sakamoto Days, of course, the Dan Da Dan. Prior to that, we did kind of have JoJo's. They had JoJo's in a weird way.
yeah.
Prior to that, we had a really good one, but I've forgotten it. I'm on the fence with that one. But yeah, you could say it's part of their progression journey. Springin', I was thinking of. Baki.
They actually had they did Blue Period.
Yes, they did.
Which was
wow.
exceptional.
Yeah.
Like, as someone who likes that manga, I was very happy with what they did with it.
Yeah. And even recently they had the Terminator anime, which I thought was incredible. And they also had not Astro.
I know what you're talking about, but it's based on Astro.
It's based on
Astro Boy.
Yeah, but it was a big murder mystery. Atom? No. He's called Atom. Pluto. Thank you. So yeah, I feel like there's been a steady increase on good anime from Netflix, and hopefully this will just add another feather in their bow, really.
Let's hope so. I would like it to be good. The plot seems like pretty standard fare for an anime. It's like you got the one guy, and he joins the fight against the rebels on another planet. But wait, oh no, his best friend is on the other side.
Oh no!
Oh no!
How will they coexist?
How will they resolve this? Because, they're going to be battling and they'll be having flashbacks of their childhood where they're play fighting and stuff like that. It's going to be, and there'll be like a sad overture of music. It's going to be beautiful, guys.
It will be beautiful. Oh, as you were explaining that, I was having flashbacks to Code Geass.
Mm. Oh yeah, this is very Code Geass coding.
Yeah, best friends on the opposite sides of the war. Oh,
interesting. I'm gonna like give you some linguistic facts right now. because
Oh.
it recently came up in a D&D game that I was playing.
Yeah.
That everyone says Gias wrong.
Explain.
It's a very old Scottish Irish word, and it's actually said geish.
Oh.
But I've always called it Gias because I watched Code Geass, and that's probably the first time I heard that word used in earnest. So I've just continued to call it Gias, but that's not what it is called. That's not how you say that word.
Wow. That's...
Geish.
Say it one more... Geish.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Geish. That's interesting.
I'm gonna fact check myself just now because I do not want someone calling me out. Yeah, it's pronounced like Gesh.
Gish.
Gesh, like Gesh, with a hard G and an E
Gesh.
that sounds like the word bed.
Wow.
Gesh
Code Gesh.
doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
No.
But that's what I've always called it Code Geass because that's what they say in the anime. And I do realize that obviously that is Japanese use of that word. It's probably not going to sound the same, but we English speakers, we should know how to say our own words.
Yeah. It's. I remember a similar thing happening with Bleach recently because of there's a lot of German words that are being pronounced with a Japanese.
That.
Yeah, exactly. With Japanese accents and stuff. So yeah, a certain emphasis on certain characters and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, this isn't a linguistics podcast, but I thought I'd bring up this interesting little fact that I had learned.
I like it. That was cool.
Anime facts about words.
But reeling it back into streaming services and anime, I saw this on X and I was blown away that this is a possibility. Are you sitting right now? Yes, you are.
Because this isn't like I'm not doing the Deku air chair in class.
So, a post from Prime Video. Let the battle begin. Mobile Suits Gundam GUX is streaming on April 8th.
We don't. That's great news, but it's also so bad because we don't need. I think we talk about this every couple of episodes. I don't need all of the good anime to be split across several different services. Just put it all in one place.
But
I don't consistently have a Prime membership. I don't use it enough.
yes, this is true. But this does mean more Gundam. Also, this also means that Prime is seeing themselves as a contender for newer anime series, which is kind of
wouldn't.
Whoa. Well, historically, they've always had a good sort of historic catalog of your Cowboy Bebops and just weird 90s stuff, Seven Samurai or Afro Samurai. It was always the hub for older stuff, in my experience. So the fact that they're announcing that they're going to have the new Gundam. Now, I don't know if it is. I imagine it's going to be released weekly on Prime. If it starts on April 8th, which is, again, similar time frame to where it gets aired in Japan. But we're getting Gundam weekly on a streaming platform.
That's incredible news.
Yeah.
I am really happy about that, and that's crazy. In these crazy times we live in, that's great news.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good news.
But I hear what you're saying. It's another subscription to add to the spreadsheet.
My ideal situation would be that one of these billionaires that has all this money that they're just sitting on buys buys all the rights to all the anime, and they just make that, and then they buy Crunchyroll, and they invest into Crunchyroll, and then
isn't that what Sony did?
haven't bought all the rights to all the anime though. They need to buy all the rights. I don't care how much it costs. Just go and buy all of the rights off all of these other. Like, go and buy Disney's rights to Bleach. Go and buy Amazon's rights to this new Gundam series. Just put it all in one place. Or everyone sit down and just make a platform together.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think there can be complications though, because there's having the monopoly on certain things, right?
The thing is that they don't have the monopoly. They just have a piece of the pie, and it's kind of it's annoying now.
Because I think that was one of the pushbacks of Sony buying Funimation, is that would Sony have the monopoly in terms of anime distribution if it has Funimation and Crunchyroll, and then puts it all into one streaming app. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I mean,
I'm mad. I'm so mad now. Can we move on?
We'll move on. I am looking forward to seeing New Gundam though.
Yeah,
and that I am. In other news, One Punch Man Season 3 is on track to be aired for October this year, 2025. And just to kind of ease our minds, there was a trailer for Season 3. Have you seen the trailer?
I've not.
I say ease our minds. If anything, it flared up a lot of red flags for a lot of fans.
What do you mean?
So you remember how Season 1 had really good animation, and it was just kind of hot damn, this is fantastic watching. Yeah. And Season 2, it was kind of this isn't as good as Season 1, but I'm here for it. I'll give them a chance to cook.
I'm watching it right now.
I thought you might be. The trailer for Season 3 has not filled people with a lot of hope.
Wait for it. It's not the worst.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not at the quality that the original series was, the first series was. But I would like everyone to take a moment to appreciate. I'm gonna say some words now, and hopefully this will make people think differently about this trailer.
This is some words of wisdom.
PNG log.
Oh,
and scene.
Well, judging from the comments I read, this season of One Punch Man is meant to encapsulate the fight between Saitama and Garu. And people wanted that fight to be animated with the same passion, care, fluidity as Season 1. And going by this trailer, the expectation is they won't have that same level of animation.
Isn't a whole different studio now?
It is a whole different studio. You are correct.
You can't expect the same job that the first season did. It's not even the same people.
This is very true. The heartbreak is that this is JC Staff, who animated Sakamoto Days. And I want to say Dr. Stone as well.
Okay.
But I also could be wrong that they also done Fire Force, which means on one hand, they can bang out a Fire Force, which is absolutely fantastic watching. But then they can also do a Dr. Stone, which isn't exactly high fighting anyway. But I don't know. It's a very weird scale from one studio.
Yeah.
Mm.
For real.
We're coming up to the last news segment, and then we're going to head into Chibi News. So the last story again, I'm not sure how much of this you saw online, but episode 9 of Solo Leveling becomes the first to get over 1,000 dislikes. I think it even went up to 2,000 dislikes on Crunchyroll due to Jinwoo crying and not having enough aura.
Apparently, it's not acceptable for the guy who has spent the entire time of his journey since getting the system, trying to get the elixir of life to heal his mum, would show emotion when it works. It's absolutely wild, and I'm not going to turn this podcast into one of those like this is exactly what is wrong with a certain group of people. Not going to do that. But I think it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad that people see an episode like that, and I watched it. And I was like, this is great. This is great because like. He was shown in the manhwa he showed emotion in that scene. He did cry. They did such a good job with it in the anime. So the idea that and this is just it's just there's groups of guys out there who they're pretty much seeing Jim as their idol right now. They're seeing this guy and he's like, this is like the coolest guy ever. So clearly he's not allowed to have any emotions. That breaks my immersion because I'm projecting on him and I don't show any emotions.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. There's this kind of putting him on a pedestal a little bit as this aura farmer, this cold, calculated Sigma figure. But yeah, I guess that's kind of like, I saw a great post on X where it was like, my generation grew up with these, and it was 4 snippets, and it was Gohan crying. I can't remember who the other 3 is. I want to say it's something like maybe Vash the Stampede or something. Probably but it was
Vash definitely is crying Christ.
Yeah, but it was maybe Gon as well from Hunter x Hunter, but it was basically 4 snapshots of 4 MCs crying at different stages in their story, and I was like, you know what, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like, it wasn't seen as a weak moment for Gohan to cry, even though he's in the fight of his life and all that stuff. And yeah, I think it's really insightful at this moment in Jim Woo's character to have a moment of like almost vulnerability, but almost like a sense of at peace, because it feels like for the last, dare I say, 2 seasons, he's just been on like working, grinding, like leveling up like crazy, not really giving the time of day to his sister or anyone else, and then has this moment of like, I've done it, I've achieved my goal. And then there's, on the flip side, he's like, do I still need to level up?
Yeah, do I need to actually continue doing this now? Because I've done what I need to do, and I'm arguably have the means now to support my family without having to put myself in danger anymore. Yeah. It's like...
Yeah. So it was a great, more reflection episode of our main character. Because, of course, yes, the fights and everything was cool. Like, I mean, for God's sake, he flew away from the hospital on the back of a dragon with his hands in his pockets. Like, there were still incredibly cool moments.
Yeah.
It wasn't divorced of them altogether. But, yeah, I'm with you. I think it's still... These moments are crucial to reflect where our character are in their journey, and not just, like...
I think a big part of solo leveling generally is, at least in terms of character development, is that he grows so exponentially stronger that even he, in the manhwa, is like, at times he's like, could I even be considered human anymore? Like, it's like he talks about all the time about how like the first time he had to kill another human, it was obviously a massive deal. But every time he's had to do it since, he's like, I just feel numb to this now and stuff like that. It's like, the system has like put me in a situation where I need to do this to survive, and I've had to do this to protect myself so that I can go back to my sister and go back to my family. But it's like, and he's kind of like shut off his emotions as a result of that. And now it's like you see this thing where he's like, actually no, he's he's a human he's suffered great loss in his life, and it doesn't matter how strong he's gotten. He's like, this was his goal all along, and it's like, of course he's going to be emotional when he achieves his goals.
Yeah, and on that subject as well, is one moment I've been really surprised that not a lot of people have talked about is when he turned, I can't remember the actual character's name, but the shield guy, and he turned him into part of the army, like part of his monarch. I was kind of like, did no one else like pick up the fact like he's just basically devoided that person? Like, sure, no one else cares who he is because A, he was a bad dude, and secondly, like, the rest of the world think he died because of the elves and stuff.
Yeah.
But thirdly, like, Jinwoo just kind of like took this
straight up, yeah,
just took this man's essence and used it for his own gain. Like, that's wild. Like, what?
didn't even think about it, did he? Didn't even think about it in the moment. It was crazy.
I mean, he needed a shield in the heat of the battle. That's cool and everything, but at no point has anyone talked about the fact that like he's just straight up used this dude's, I don't know, soul or his body. I don't know. But yeah, it's weird.
Extracted his aura.
What was of it anyway? Yeah. So yeah, crazy stuff in the world of Solo Leveling. So that is all of the big stories. We're going to hit some chippy news right now, which are some smaller, bite-sized news you need to know about. Susude, I know there's something you're a huge fan of. Actually, I don't know if you've seen the anime of this. Go-Go Loser Ranger Season 2 is scheduled for April 13th. There was a new trailer for it. Have you seen Season 1?
I've seen half of Season 1, but then I got busy. What I was watching of Season 1 loved. I thought it was done really well. Huge fan of the end sequence.
Yes. Oh yeah, we talked about the end, the opening.
Absolutely huge fan of the opening and end sequences of that show, and I thought it was being done really well. I've said this many times, I could do without it being called Go-Go Loser Ranger. Just call it Ranger Rejects, like it was like the gods intended.
Exactly.
But it's a really good property. I'm actually a little bit behind on the manga at the moment, so I actually need to get caught up on it. But what was happening in the manga was like really interesting. There's some real cool stuff going on.
That might be a beautiful segue as well, because I made a guest appearance on the Manga Tack podcast, and we spoke about Volume 1 of Go-Go Loser Ranger.
Oh, incredible.
So, I'll drop a link in the description for that. Highly recommend checking it out. It's a good jumping on point, or to get what's the word I'm looking for? Reacquainted with the series. Yeah. So, yeah. We'll be talking about that. We talked about the opening sequence and the end sequence as well. So, yeah, fun stuff. There's been a lot of collaborations recently. I don't know if you've seen this. Luffy made an appearance in the NBA Lakers game.
Now, my friend, you've done a bit of a Zane there, because I was the first person to bring this up in Africa.
God damn it.
Yes. Yeah, crazy.
Thoughts on the collaboration?
I think
it's a good one.
Really well done. I think. I mean, I could take or leave the actual thing that they're advertising for, but I thought absolutely incredible bit of animation. Like,
it was a cool bit of animation.
Luffy dunking on this team. I really liked it. But was I right in seeing that there was also a Demon Slayer baseball one?
There was indeed, yes. Ufotable, obviously taking a break from the movie and animated. I want to say it's the LA Lakers. No, that's the basketball team. The LA Dodgers, I believe, animated the players and gave them the sort of Hashira treatment of effects when they swung the bat and stuff.
It was crazy. It was actually, I think it was just for Major League Baseball.
Oh, okay.
Generally. I think it was the LA team that was in it.
Got ya. Also on the subject of the Luffy NBA, during the halftime, a fan won like a treasure chest full of goodies, and one of them included a one-of-a-kind figure of the Lakers Luffy.
That's rad as fuck. That makes me want to go to sports. I'm like, do your collabs. If you start churning out regular collabs with things that I'm actually interested in, I'll go to sports for the chance of opening, the chance of winning cool stuff.
I know, and it's a good looking figure. I'll send it to you after the show. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it's weird. I've seen a lot of people say like it gave them Space Jam vibes. But yeah, I thought it was a
Space Jam 3. It's gonna be anime.
Yeah, I can't wait for Ed and Alphonse to shoot some hoops.
Oh, incredible! That gave me a literal shiver up my spine.
Other chibi news: Free Ren Season 2 is coming in January 2026, so we're a little way off, but Madhouse doing their thing. Haiku is getting another movie, and it's also getting another anime series as well, so that's exciting to see our volleyball boys back.
But didn't we already have Haiku the Last?
So funny enough, this was called Haiku the Final Movie Part 2.
It's a Part 2.
But apparently the final part of the title has been removed, so now it's just Haiku the movie. I actually know, I want to say it's like Haiku versus the Little Giants is the new title or something like that.
What is Attack on Titan done? They did this.
It's their fault. Yeah,
can't wait until we see like Haiku the final spike Part 6.
Yeah,
final mix.
Let crows fly.
Always finding a way to throw in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Haiku 2.5, Let Crows Fly.
If anime studios want to keep doing this, animate Kingdom Hearts. Just do it. Like, it's already set up to have several different versions of the same story.
Yeah. I mean, they're halfway there because 362 over 5. Oh, I hate that title. That's just basically a CG movie, isn't it? If I remember rightly.
Yeah, it's just all the cutscenes, one after the other. It took me
stitched together.
It took me like 2.5 hours to watch. It was wild. and you get an achievement. You get a trophy for doing it.
Hot damn.
Yeah, just sitting watching cutscenes for 2.5 hours. Absolutely wild. But let's not talk about like dream products. Let's any more chibi news?
That's all the chibi news from me.
Well, I have recently been spending a lot of time on Reddit, would you believe?
Oh.
And recently I stumbled across a post on the r/anime board. And it's not the most complex thing in the world. It's not the hottest topic, but it was basically someone asking, have you got any good anime recommendations?
Oh, I love this. I'm a captain of Rex. Let's do it.
It wasn't even a super recent post. It was high enough at the list that it showed up on my feed. So this person who's written the post, they have listed what their current top 10 is.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And stuff of all time.
Ooh.
I'm taking it. It's not very clear if this is like his all time or whether this is just recently. If it is recently, then this is quite the list.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you his top 10 and you can tell me what your thoughts are on it, okay?
Okay.
So, at number 1, we've got Hunter x Hunter.
Solid start. Okay.
Do you think it deserves a number one spot on this list?
Personally, no. But let's hear what they like, and then we'll construct some recommendations off that.
If honestly, if I could go back in time, because I'm not having you cut this into a different format. I would have done the list backwards, but I'm doing it down now. I'm not changing. So
I got you.
At number 2, bad taste in my mouth, Attack on Titan. But people are going to like what they're going to like.
Exactly.
Nope.
Don't yuck their.
Don't yuck their yum.
Don't yuck their yum.
At number 3, we got One Piece.
I feel like they like the bigger, longer series. That's 3 long series, right? Many episodes.
Would you like to hazard a guess at what number 4 is based on that mentality?
I'm guessing something short then. Something that has 12 episodes. No, hit me with it. What's next?
Jujutsu Kaisen.
It's 2 seasons and a movie.
That is. Number 5, we have Violet Evergarden.
Okay. So they like the high class stuff.
Number 6, we got Steins Gate.
Big brain thinking.
Big brain.
Yeah.
Number 7, here's one for you, Mushoku Tensei.
Wow. Okay.
That's number 7.
Not what I was expecting. But okay, I'm down for that.
Number 8, we've got Bleach.
Ooh, beautiful.
Worthy
beautiful
contender.
Choice. Yeah.
Number 9, we have the 86, which I know
86.
you're a big fan of.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
And finally, we have Monster at number 10.
Monster?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a good mix.
So this person here, like I said, they will have had their recommendations now. But we're doing this as a fun thought exercise. But they did specify that they're not really looking for anything specific, but they're not a big fan of mechas, and they just couldn't get into ReZero. So those things are out. Okay, so Zane, I throw this to you.
Okay.
What would you recommend to this person?
So they like Monster. I'm getting a lot of shonen. It is kind of their main flavor. The mecha bit is interesting because I would have probably said, just going by the top end of the shonen, something like a Darling in the Franxx or a Gundam like Witch from Mercury that has a lot of characters, it has a lot of interaction, but they don't like mechs, so let's take that off the board. Even Gridman, I would probably say, would have been a good one because it's nice, high, rich thinking and stuff, but we're not mechs, so we're moving that from the board. So that kind of navigates. We're sticking with shonen.
See, based on that list, I honestly, without reading that last comment, I probably would have recommended something like Gurren Lagann. But,
yeah.
mechs. So, no.
Yeah, mech rich, right? So, yeah, I'm guessing if I were to choose 3, I would say Frieren, because they like the fantasy, because we've got Mushoku Tensei. So let's put him back into that fantasy world. Let's say it'd be easy to say Pluto because they like Monster, but I'm going to go a little bit off the track and I'll say Summertime Rendering, which is another good murder mystery. And then shonen-wise, battles. We're here for the fights and explosions.
I mean, I have one. I don't know. We'll see if
Hit me.
We'll see if you can get Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
That ticks like several of the boxes here. I think there's they're hypothetical boxes, but
What has a good tournament?
what's a good tournament?
What has a good tournament arc? If we're going for a good shonen with what has a good tournament arc? They like One Piece. They're not scared for a long series. Should we say Fairy Tail?
I'd say original Naruto.
Ooh. Yeah. But will they like it because they're a Bleach head?
But we've already got One Piece on here as well. You might as well have the big three.
Square off the big three. There you go. Yeah. Is there any others you would add to that?
Such a basic answer, but if you've got One Piece and Bleach on there, you may as well also have Naruto.
Actually, for my shonen, so I said Free Ren, Summertime Rendering. I'd probably say Fire Force.
Oh, Fire Force. I've got a very obscure one. I don't know if I don't know that you would have heard this one. I stumbled upon this as a manga, and then I watched the anime. It's called Spiral: The Bonds of Reasoning.
Bonds of Reasoning,
and it's kind of a supernatural, slightly supernatural, like mystery sort of anime, and it basically follows on the main character trying to solve the mystery of the Blade Children, who are cursed geniuses with cat-like eyes.
Oh,
but there's there's murders, and it's very interesting, very, very interesting.
Sorry, when you say murder, I thought of the Scottish accent, like there's been a murder.
There's been a murder. Taggart.
I like that. That was cool. That was a fun exercise.
Well, maybe I'll keep an eye out.
Eye out for some more. Hey, if you're listening or watching and you want us to recommend some stuff, let us know in the comments. More than happy to turn this into a segue going forward. Of course, you can email us as well. undisputedanime@gmail.com. Of course, all the relevant details will be in the description down below. But yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
Good. I'm pleased because little segments like this, let you flex how much of a veteran you are in some areas.
It also helps with my memory more than anything.
It certainly won't cure your arachnophobia, but it will certainly help your memory.
This is true. Any final words before we wrap up?
My final words, as always, are, drink plenty of water, guys.
Mm-hmm.
My other final words, which I've been trying to do a lot lately because I have been very graciously allowed to be a guest, as you have, on several occasions now, is, go and give Mangataka a listen to. Great podcast, especially if you're looking for something new. Because, Matt's over there with his guests, and they do a deep dive into Volume 1 of the series from the perspective of someone who's never read it before, alongside someone who has read it before. So it's a really interesting platform.
It's really cool. I listened to your D. Greyman episode the other day, and which was fantastic. But also, I found myself screaming at my iPad because you talked about the anime. You didn't talk about any of the openings, and I was like, this is such a crime. The openings are so good.
I try really hard to avoid. It might not seem it, but I do try very hard these days to avoid talking about anime openings and endings because we can't show them without risk of the show getting a strike. And that's more trouble than it's worth. I would honestly love it if we could just sit and talk about anime openings and closings. My whole musical palette is based on the way that anime openings and closes make me feel. I say this to people all the time. My taste in music is I want the music to make me feel like the opening of Naruto season 2 made me feel. I want to be able to close my eyes and imagine an anime opening sequence. So I could talk about it all day and night. So it's more trouble than it's worth. I don't want us to get copyright strike. So.
Me too. And the crazy thing as well is one of our most popular episodes is where we tier list all the Bleach openings.
Which is wild because it's very hard. Like that, I can't even imagine what it's like watching that back because we can't really.
Exactly. Yeah. I think I tried to watch it once and it was just like muted, like every sample we used. Yeah. But there we go. It is what it is. But as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe if you're listening to this in your favorite podcast platform, which may I just remind you is listened to around the world. Be sure to give it a star rating and a comment as well. Let us know what you liked about the show, what you didn't like, and any recommendations, anything else, let us know, and you'll be helping us in a big bad way. As always, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we shall see you soon. Peace.